than 15 carries. If you give him more than 15 touches, you know what
Shady gave them today?
2 touchies.
Yeah, and a IR stick.
They need to get.
You know what Shady gave me today?
2 touchies.
They need to get Jamal Charles back.
Hey, y'all see Jeffrey Sneed the big drum today? He was hitting the big drum.
Did y'all see Jeffrey Sneed that?
Shut up.
Yeah.
How?
I posted it. Thanks for looking at the damn.
Okay, yeah. Today's been a little hectic.
Jeffrey Sneed, who's that?
That's the quarterback
Who lost out to
the Texans.
All right, yeah. Damn,
Black
what do you
No,
know?
the Texans, Texas.
That's the little young black dude?
No, Jeffrey Sneed is white.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Sneed went to Stephenville.
Yeah. What
He made the league.
For a split second.
Yeah, Pittsburgh or something like that.
What did he do? What happened?
We ain't supposed to have all that shit going on, fellas.
What happened to
What's
him?
on there?
What did he have?
They didn't say. They just found him dead in his apartment. I'm pretty sure he had
What?
drugs.
Y'all was gonna say drugs and alcohol. That's why they don't talk about that Taylor shit.
Whoa.
I mean that Taylor
Go
shit.
live on
That Taylor
Facebook
shit.
in 5, 4.
But we already been live on.
Oh, man, you got to.
You
You supposed to tell folks when they go, hey, come on,
I've
man.
been digging in my nose, scratching my arse.
Yeah, you should know
the catering stuff.
your shit is always hot.
No.
Once that mic's on, it's always hot.
Yeah, ask Jesse Jackson.
So,
We'll cut his balls off.
I was going to say, they just don't talk about the first black president anymore.
Been talking down to black people.
Talk about.
Oh, you gonna bring it back. Nah, because I don't even know where we at right now. Okay, disclaimer is playing. Disclaimer is playing.
Jesse, no whispering ass.
No, it's preaching, man. Can't whisper.
Yeah, preacher, you can't whisper.
Preaching can't whisper. So I'm going to have to get fantasy updates from you all because I use my phone for that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm on that.
The hour gonna go by like nothing. The Saints game not on. Fox is no.
NBC got a game.
Hey, you know what I watched this morning though? I watched Sky Sports coverage of the NFL.
Oh, I was watching the World Cup.
No, but Sky Sports NFL
Yes,
coverage.
sir.
It is awesome.
Back in here. Because it's Sunday night. So you know what that means. Welcome to the Garage Department. Sports and entertainment. With your favorite partner's favorite partners. I am the fucking militant, Adora Jones. And as always, I got the tribe with me. So go ahead and let everyone know who you are.
Up in here.
Mike Checkermont is here. I was early today. Don't let me say I was.
What did you say yet?
No, I was earlier.
Yeah, earlier than normal. That was. Yes, indeed. But he's here as always.
Always.
We
When I'm
here
not here, I'm here.
That's right. We're here each and every Sunday night from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And check out our website, thegarageapt.com. Got some amazing stuff on there. Got some old shows, some previous shows, I shouldn't say old. Some articles that we're really proud about. Got some behind the scene interviews. And we got some great stuff coming up very soon.
I've got positive feedback from my latest article.
There you go. Yes, you
Nothing
did.
from my compadres, because they haven't read it.
That's not true.
I did read it.
I read the headline.
I posted it out because I read it.
I read the headline. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I read it. It's okay.
No, it's
It's pretty close though, it's cool.
It's a good
Kind of person
satire,
you're dealing
man.
with.
It's a real good satire. Oh my God.
You can also hit us up live at 713.
Whoa, what is this?
Hey,
What is this? What is this dude thinking? I don't.
Y'all gonna finish later?
He's thinking my chest hurts.
What was
You
that?
can also hit us up at 713-489-0688. As you can see, we got the Texans on the screen, and Maul Missile seems to be getting a little irritated by something.
I just saw something that made me upset.
What's that, sir?
How did Pollard go off for 103 yards? The backup running back in Dallas. Because I know Zeke went for 100.
Yeah, they had,
Because they were blowing out Miami.
They played horrible.
They were playing Miami.
That is how this is still supposed to be in the NFL. That is horrible.
No, it's not, because they're
Oh
tanking.
God, thank God these
Being
things.
as the NFL, that should happen more.
Face
I'm so
mask.
sick.
Face mask protection.
In the first quarter, I was watching this game and paying attention to the stats. And at one point, Deshaun Watson and Phillip Rivers were averaging 4 yards of completion. And I was at a high school football game on Friday night and talking to my assistant coach, well, one of my, we took the boys to the game because they canceled our youth football this weekend. And just all the little short passes. Like, you could just run the ball and get 3 yards.
I don't know, because now
Maybe I'm old school.
No,
Maybe
they-
I'm just outdated.
They don't teach offensive linemen how to block anymore. They don't teach offensive linemen to drive your feet and get your man out the way. They don't teach them that anymore.
Manville does.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Well, maybe that means Manfield is now officially the favorite for the state title.
Dude, they're good. They smothered. Even though Manville has some real good athletes, Fort Bend Marshall had the superior athletes. They had more athletes, but what Manville went out there and did with their quarterback, and then with that gigantic offensive line, I mean, it was just plays where they just smothered. You couldn't see any black and gold. And it was just it was eclipsed by white.
But do you want to see?
You would have loved that game. You as an offensive lineman would have loved that game.
Absolutely.
They were running counter trays.
Absolutely.
It was beautiful.
That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I was.
Counter traps, counter traps.
I was on Fort Bend Marshall's side, and I was like, ooh!
You had to look around. You had to look around.
I don't know if that's beautiful.
For real, hey, for real.
That's football, bro.
Mine.
Yeah.
You want to try to go to the Fort Bend, the Marshall Sterling game?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
we'll be at the we can let's go hold it down for the South
I
Park.
don't know.
It'll be a murder, but
Because I watched, I saw
you get to
bits
watch
and pieces
some good football on one side.
One of my Facebook friends was live a couple weeks ago from the Manville Sharpstown game, and that was 76-0. And
76 to
Manville was
70.
literally running to 70%. I don't really want to see the
Oh,
Fort Bend schools play. Oh, and then shout out to Westbury High School. 78-7 lost to Willow Ridge. HISD, we gotta
They causing it
we
anyway.
gotta do something.
Wow!
Take it over in a whole new football.
We gotta do something.
Yeah,
After
everybody can't beat Scarborough.
after the Amelia
We go to the
debacle,
playoffs.
after the Amelia debacle, yes, HISD will be closed. So
Everybody cannot
the
be.
Texas State Independence.
Heights tried to hold us down. They almost beat Seven Lakes.
They almost beat.
Almost.
I know the defensive coordinator
Yeah.
there of the Heights.
They were up 21-7
Oh.
in the fourth quarter. Yeah, so
This was Heights.
yeah, Heights is
21-7 in the fourth quarter.
You
And
keep
they lost
saying
the
that
game.
every.
Yeah.
You say that every year, Ron. About
Wait,
Heights.
because one of my little homies played for Heights.
Heights is good.
He says that, and then they play Lamar.
I mean, I'm giving Lamar the side eye hard body karate now because they can't score on nobody.
Hey, I said they were terrible this year.
I mean, the defense is always stacked. I don't know why they won't. The offense is horrible.
I say Bel Air actually beats Lamar this year.
The defense is stacked because they best athletes on defense because they can't catch.
Okay, well, why are people not like okay? And this is another thing I don't like about high school football now. And I know we get way. I'm sorry, people.
It's all right. It's okay.
But
bro.
coaches seem to be afraid to let good athletes go both ways these days. You don't have to platoon everybody. Some kids are built to play offense and defense. They really are. So, like, if you got some athletes, let them go both ways. It's okay. It's only 12-minute
That's
quarters.
kind of how
That'll be fine.
I think that, Lamar is one of the few schools that can actually do that. The rest of these schools gotta go both ways because they ain't got but 11, 12 players out there.
Well, Bel Air. Oh, no. Chavez held us down. Chavez beat Clear Lake.
Go ahead, Chavez.
State champion. State going to Clear Lake.
Chavez held us down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, Clear, no, he said Clear Lake. He didn't say Cy Falls.
No, that'd be Clear Lake.
I know, I was like, no, that's Cy Falls.
Oh,
No, but then weren't they?
No.
Clear Lake went deep in the playoffs like last year, a couple years ago.
oh no, you're thinking Clear Falls, I believe.
Oh, really?
And with Clear Lake, you're thinking basketball.
Is it?
Yeah.
Look, it's so many schools anyway. Like that's why HID is no longer because everybody goes somewhere else.
Yeah. And it's so easy. I mean, even in my neighborhood, I live in Westbury.
Gentrification, people.
It's not even gentrification.
Nah,
it's just.
it's-
Do you know how many Fort Bend
It's
Marshall shirts I
gentrification.
see walking up and down Hillcroft?
Every
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Westbury's right there. I mean, Fort Bend Marshall right down the street too. It's right down Fontaine. But how many Fort Bend Marshall and T-shirts I see? High Tower. I'm like, y'all boys live off the Hillcroft, dog. What's the deal? At least go to Bel Air. If you don't want to go to Westbury, at least go to Lamar.
Absolutely. So now, we were also, I heard a few gripes with the fantasy league. I'm having an outstanding week.
I'm
this
getting
week.
my ass whooped.
I'll come
I
out.
was.
0-3 all of a sudden.
I can't catch it because the Meebo's on my phone right now. But somebody see how I'm doing against Kush Camp.
Give me a second.
You
sir.
are currently winning 76 to 56.
Oh, Kush, what's up, man? Kush actually pulled out a victory
85% chance of victory.
against me last week.
I'm about to be 0-3, yo.
Oh, man. You're the Lamar of the garage apartment.
Oh.
And I don't even really see it because Mike Evans went off in. Who they play?
Looks like I'm gonna be on 3 as well.
The Giants.
Lamar is 0-3 though, right? Do you
The
know
Giants.
that? Is it
Well, I
on
don't
that?
think so, but the
Lamar's
computer
0-3.
says I have a 99% chance of losing to my
To your who?
horrible brother.
To your brother. Why you gotta be horrible? What's up with the adjective before?
Hey,
Simply
just,
because
all
I'm
you have to
losing.
say this is all you have to say.
What's
He
Man,
had
you
Dak
lost.
Prescott. That's not fair.
What's even
Man, he
worse
lost.
is he named his team after Marcus Rashford.
Whoosh. And you see how well that worked out for him today.
Wait, D.
Holla at you, Ole.
D, surely you can pull this out, D. Oh, no, that is all your players?
I mean,
Oh!
hey, man.
Oh, no.
I mean, I got a lot of hitters, man, that just ain't hitting right now.
Bro,
So
oh, God.
I need.
And this is with one of Trey's players not scoring any points at all.
Yeah.
Yep, but hey, he just added to my player who scored 0.3. Or he just canceled out my player who scored 0.2. Or how about my 4th round draft pick who scored 1.8?
Who's that?
Stephon Diggs. And they put up 40 points.
Dang, Stephon Diggs didn't do nothing today.
They put up 40 points.
I almost sat him down in one of my other leagues. I started him.
Thean had a rushing touchdown and a
Thielen.
Thielen had
That's
a
who he
rushing
did do
touchdown
that on.
and a reception.
Packers. They do that on the Packers.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah. Packers won again.
Yeah, but like the NFL
And
going
an
on,
argument
of course.
again.
You know, the
Eventually it's
NFL
gonna
is
blow
going to
up.
be heavy today. So,
Eventually it's gonna blow.
Saquon Barkley, which
He's
Saquon
out
Barkley's
now.
out, injured.
Another player
I'm
on
playing somebody who had
fantasy team.
Saquon. Let's go, Alvin Kamara. You're all
How's
in
the
the
Daniel
next
Jones experiment going?
Daniel Jones looked
Terrible.
very good in the first quarter. And then they went to the library and they got their book.
What you say? It's called a
And when they got their book on,
They went to the
People
dope.
say Elisha.
They went to that.
they can't do that.
Elisha Manning Jr.
They can't do that. Not unless he gets hurt. But he will get hurt because the line is still bad.
Did y'all see what I posted about young Arch Manning
Young Archie, man.
the son of Cooper,
of Cooper? Yeah.
named after his grandpa Archie.
Yeah.
I did see. Now see, I'm with you, brother.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Good man.
I was about to have an incest
Yeah,
joke.
so-
Currently at Newman High School.
Yeah, at the legendary Newman.
It's a
I was
dog.
about to have a
Daniel
nice
Jones, 22
incest
or
joke
33
about
for 331 yards and 2 touchdowns.
You was about to what, Ramon?
that. Have an incest joke.
Sounds like a good game.
Were you really?
Yes, because they all look alike. Like two. Like
I want to hear the joke.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but you ruined it.
This
You
part,
should've
yeah,
just-
this part,
you should've
the
just
joke
got
not
it.
gonna work. So,
Let's go. Come on, man. Throw it out there. Because we're going to follow up with inappropriateness with some more inappropriateness in that saga that is.
oh my gosh, you
And
had
Tony
4
Brown.
people put up 20 points, bro.
Who?
You had a career week. You would not have this
Hey,
week.
I don't need you hating on what's
Nah, the
going
man
on.
had Tom Brady
With the
put up
militia
20
over
points.
here, brother. The militia is on fire.
But McCoy put up 20 points.
That's right.
Not gonna happen again.
Hey.
Philip Lindsay, that might happen again. Not that often. Amari Cooper, that's gonna happen again.
Yeah, boy.
Who drafted Garoppolo?
Somebody probably auto drafted
I
Garoppolo.
don't know who's that. I picked him up.
Somebody started him.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
D-Mac is out there.
Sorry for the fans of this fantasy talk, but oh my God, Garoppolo.
I mean, it's
Who ever thought this was really going to work out?
I just need to work out for one game, man, and it didn't.
You'd have been better off getting Janine Garoppolo.
Right?
Well, wasn't that corny? But it was dope though.
Who was your other backup quarterback?
What is frustrating to me is all the first 2 weeks
don't
I
have
sat up
one?
there, I watched.
Hey, I'll give you Drew Brees.
Who that?
I'll give you Drew Brees. DRC.
Will
If
you?
you were gonna give him an injured Drew Brees,
She'll be back in 5 weeks.
I was gonna say, I'll take it. Just
better than Garoppolo.
Garoppolo? You gonna trade for Garoppolo?
No, I don't want Garoppolo.
Oh,
Keep
see.
Garoppolo.
what are y'all saying right now?
Oh, Jonathan Joseph, you had it.
That was
You jumped
the
the
game,
route.
bro.
Oh, you know what happens when you?
Yeah, that's you.
that's
You been getting burnt the whole game. Watching
Hey, man,
Texas
hey, man,
up
still a
27
possible
to
guess.
17.
I would say if he'd have came on the show, I guarantee you he'd make a play on
Hey,
the ball.
pick that
I
up.
mean, I'm still would like him to come on the show. I'm just saying he can be getting burnt all game. Sometimes you get burnt. You're a cornerback. You know what I'm saying? But you pay.
Oh, he jumped that route well. Now
Yeah,
we
this
see
is the
why.
one play you're looking for.
Now we
He's
see
taking
why
it
we see why he's a corner.
Question.
The hands is awful.
Question.
What's
Yes.
up?
Does Le'Veon Bell regret what he just did?
Nope.
What, playing for the Jets?
Not every week at least.
Evidently not.
Until you get that leg broke, huh?
Not every week. No, man. You gonna break your leg and
I mean, he averaged like 2 yards
the
a
whole
carry
day.
and about 3 yards a catch today. Like,
after getting the ball 40 times last game and getting killed.
now he got the ball something like 17
He
times
said
and
he's ready to
38
be fed,
yards
man.
today.
He said he's ready to be fed.
He getting fed. He getting fed.
Well, that's what he asked
It's
for.
trash.
I mean, you know, what it really says is,
They are trash.
it obviously is something real tragic going on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's something
Well,
real
no,
tragic.
he only had 18 carries and 4 catches.
Because not only did he not care about losing money, but then yes, he signed with the Jets.
Garoppolo, hold up, did
The
Garoppolo
Jets.
throw a
With some high
touchdown?
school uniforms.
He was in the red zone.
I hate the Browns and I hate the Jets. NFL uniform is not supposed to have your name all big on the front of the jersey.
You don't think so?
No! When the Browns came with that, I was like, what are they doing with these high school uniforms on?
Block that kid.
You don't do that in the NFL.
Why?
Because that's just not how. It's just not. I'm a traditionalist, I guess.
All right.
Oh,
You don't,
You missed it? Alright, good.
you don't have to remind us of who you are. Okay, it's not like
I'm in
that.
a different. What I'm
No,
on the road,
it's
it
the
says
NFL.
Cleveland.
It's the NFL.
Yes, I know you're the Browns. But there's only one of you. I don't have to distinguish you from somebody else's Tigers. Because there's Memphis Tigers, 18 different Tigers. You don't have to put it on the front of you. I know who you are. This is the NFL. Anyway.
There you go. Ahmad on his high school jersey tangent. He's upset with the Jets.
Look at the Jets. And the Jets again. Like last year.
I do think they're very ugly.
Last year was the Titans, right? They stole the Toronto Argonauts uniforms. Okay?
They're wearing them
Of
again
the
this year.
CFL. Yes, they did. And the Argonauts actually changed their uniforms. And the Jets are wearing Saskatchewan Rough Riders uniforms, if anybody knows anything about the CFL.
I do.
They stole them. And those aren't the Jets.
We saw
traditional
Ricky
uniforms.
Williams, right? Time
Yes.
at the house we saw Ricky
Right.
Williams play for.
Stop.
So why the Bengals want to put on the Hamilton Cats?
the
Tiger Cats. Why they want to put the Tiger Cats uniforms
If
on?
they do that, then the NFL's over. I'm done with it. I don't know why.
It's not the
they're
NFL no
still-
more. It's the CFL.
CFL.
Duh.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know how the Titans didn't get sued for that though, because they just outright stole those people's uniforms.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting sued,
Very well done, my
the
friend.
finish of, I guess we could say the wrap up.
How did I draft this man?
No,
I got into that too.
no.
I got into one of my leagues.
How did you not see any of this coming is the question. Because I told you, I didn't understand how he got signed so quickly after his first one.
But you could not have seen pure retirement in quotes.
Not even. I didn't see
look here.
I didn't see him get kicked off the Patriots.
No, my hope is
I seen
why
that
you
coming. I seen that coming.
If you don't recall,
I mean, no disrespect. They still got my boy Flash.
But his only problem is smoking weed.
Yeah,
That's not his only problem.
But see, we didn't know all this.
That is, as a right now, you will not slander the greatness that is.
But it's honestly, it's
As
really
what is known, that is his only issue.
no. That's what people. That's not the only problem. I don't think it's really smoking weed. It could be something else.
But that's the only thing that gets in the way of his foot. Like,
That's something that they're reporting as getting in the way of his.
Yeah, that's the only thing they're reporting.
Well, my
You
thing
can't
is,
be. It's a different time. You can't do anything with women.
well, no, see, well, it's not even okay. First off, the Antonio Brown thing is just so okay. First off,
Let's unpack it.
I want to talk to all those people who were telling me the whole time,
This was
man, he's a genius. He orchestrated this. No, he's batshit crazy. That's what it is.
That's it, bud, crazy.
And we see that now. I didn't think he was crazy enough to screw this opportunity up because I mean it's like, dude,
You really can't get no better.
you made it now, okay?
Where is your daddy at?
And then knowing his tweets this morning
Where is your daddy
when he
at?
scores the earth, he got on Fanta Thought.
Where is your daddy
He got
at?
on everybody with their sexual. He got on
Everybody.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, that stuff on Ben Wright. That boy say 4 games, huh?
He got 4 games for his, and he was giving chicks GHB allegedly.
This is true.
I mean,
This
come
is
on
true.
now.
Who's that?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, we know that though.
Yeah, but Antonio Brown's like, they take away $50 million from me
Of course.
about allegations, but it's like, Antonio, you went back and texted and threatened.
I would threaten, man. I don't know
You
about
should
threaten,
You
but he
shouldn't be
definitely
contacting her at
he
all.
did right. He definitely was foolish for contacting her.
He's suing.
Last week I told y'all that was the beginning of the end. You were like, no, it's not. I said this is eerily similar to the Terrell Owens saga.
No, it's nothing like
It
Terrell
is,
Owens.
and the only difference is, yes, there is no one accused Terrell Owens of sexual
But that
misconduct.
is the whole thing.
Yeah, it is the whole thing.
But no, what I mean by no. Remember
If
when
Antonio Brown was just talking trash and being crazy, I don't think anybody would care.
Antonio Brown
Refuse.
welcomed this attention with all of the other foolishness he kept going.
Yeah.
So instead of, well, I mean, I guess when you don't think you've done anything wrong, you don't think about that. But
And when you've made it this big by welcoming the attention, you gotta just welcome it.
It's a shame there's no CTE test like before.
while you alive,
They really need to come up with that.
That's a Nobel Peace
Because
Prize.
he's got,
Whoever
I
gets that one.
mean, he's got
Run
to
it,
get
run
tested
it,
because
run it
he's
again.
irrational. He's
No,
impulsive.
run out of bounds. That's what I should have said. Run
He's
out of bounds.
impulsive.
Crazy
impulsive.
that's why I posed the question, where's your daddy at? What I mean by that is, where are your advisors? Do you have no one?
I pay for it.
No one is pulling you to the side. No one is
I
pulling
pay for
your coattail, your shirt, your jersey, your
Ooh.
dreads, your locks, your
What do you offer our services?
What's
'Cause I
going
think-
to?
Central Michigan.
Okay, so nobody was looking out for him, man.
But he been in the league almost 10 years now.
He made it by
Which means
himself.
you got a lot of leeches on you. That mean you got
Like
good
Slim
people.
said, I like to thank myself.
Surely you also have somebody advising.
Who?
Somebody
Who?
has to be there to say, okay, hey.
It's Rosenhaus.
Even if it's the homies from the hood, somebody.
Rosenhaus doesn't have time to. Rosenhaus
Yeah,
is
but
your
no, I'm
agent.
saying, but
You
Rosenhaus
need
is
somebody
It's
to
T.O.
have. Antonio Brown needs somebody to
It's
have
T.O.
his
I would have
accounts.
told him to get the paper.
To have his accounts, and Antonio Brown don't know the password. Okay, you gotta hire somebody who.
Are you saying he's Marcus?
He can't be
Dupree?
trusted with-
He's Marcus Dupree.
He can't be trusted with Twitter
Oh my goodness.
or anything because he would have been just fine. Like he would have been just fine if he hadn't have contacted that lady. I mean, you can sit back. He probably would have won this whole thing because
The
it's an
Patriots have
impossible
said
thing.
the Patriots said that the only reason, not the only,
Yes.
but the reason they let him go was because the text messages
Yes.
happened while he was a Patriot.
And there's no way
All
he
the
can
other
lose
stuff
his
they
case.
said happened while he wasn't a Patriot, therefore they weren't holding that against him until, of course, he got to get suspended for whatever he did. But once they found that he was doing that stuff still, they didn't even want to play with it.
And oddly enough,
I guess when you got a triple murder on your book,
he's contacting, and I was going to get to that in just a second. Oddly enough,
And a suicide.
he's contacting the young lady who in all actuality is not pursuing anything from him at all. She's not pursuing financial restitution. She has not filed a criminal case. She has not said anything because in all actuality he hadn't really done anything but given her unwanted advances.
Right.
So the fact that he sat there and contacted her and then tried to intimidate her in any kind of way, it just simply is just horrible judgment. It makes no sense at all. And again, where are your advisors? Where is there somebody in his life saying, and simply just, okay, where are the women in his life saying to him, okay, brother, you look, why are you handling these women in this way? Why?
Well, you know what his
Where's
main
your
woman-
mama at?
Have you seen his main woman, his baby mother?
Yeah, I've seen his main one, and that's
That might be part of.
she's not giving good advice. We're saying that she's not giving good advice. Like, but
She
then
ain't
it
giving
is
no
his,
advice.
Oh,
it is
my
his.
God.
I was gonna say, didn't she beat up the other one?
I don't know anything
The
about
first one?
Nah, I don't think
I
so.
don't know that. You got to read that one to me.
He alluded to her somewhat in his Ebonic written text.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't he say something that
She'll wash her or something. She'll do something to her. She'll what?
I don't know.
Well, let's not pull that back
I
up.
don't think Becky watching nobody, but
She whitewash
Hey
her.
man, Becky might be a
catch me outside?
She, yeah, because we know how authentic that was. But I mean, because you were also mentioning on the way in here, you were talking about, because I mean, like I said, when
he
unpacking
didn't have him killing it for me though.
when unpacking it goes pretty deep. You were talking about
He
how
was killing it for me.
he has messed up
Oh, yeah.
generational wealth
Yeah.
behind this simple foolishness.
Because Antonio Brown was talking about he's got money.
But he's got money. So he didn't
We
really
talking about
First off, he never had enough money.
That's the whole never have enough money. Bill
So,
Gates go to work every day.
He's saying that he's saying I got money, I'm good.
No, you're
He
not.
would have stayed in LA one more day. One more day, he would have been guaranteed $15 million. He would have been guaranteed until, of course, all this
They were
information
supposed to
came
cut him a $5
before
million check.
Then he signs with the Patriots and has had a deal where he can work out $50 million.
But $9 million this year.
No, he was gonna get a $5 million check on
When he played the second game or something after the first game.
So he hadn't even gotten paid from the Patriots yet.
He got
He got $188,000.
he got a small game check. Yeah, he got the 188.
And then he got a incentive check for the touchdown, but it's like prorated because he has something in there like 10 touchdowns, he gets $1 million, something like that. So he got like $20,000,
Like $100,000 for that.
something like that for a touchdown. So, but they said that they're not paying him.
But exactly.
He is
Because
suing
there's a clause in the
Pittsburgh.
contract where they don't have to.
He's suing Pittsburgh, and he is suing or arbitrating. I don't know what he's doing.
And that's gonna take all
He
his
has
money for
agreements
sure.
against
That's
Pittsburgh.
gonna
and
take
against
all of his
the
money.
Patriots.
All he had to do was, and believe it or not,
Before
I can't
him.
believe I'm saying this, shut up and play ball. That's all he had to do.
Nothing he was doing was helping you though.
If you listen to the commercial
There
that
was
he
nothing
put out
positive about it.
on Instagram, that's all John Gruden was saying.
Just shut up and play ball.
man. You're a hell of a football player. Just play football.
Like, stop the madness.
And he said he's more than football, which
And
I can
he's so
understand.
good.
But if you're more than football, then you just got to go
Well, we
and be more
understand that.
than football.
He is more than football if he was actually standing for something. What is he
Yeah.
standing for?
Well, we are more than our jobs.
He's
Yeah,
not
we are.
standing for anything but buffoonery.
But I'm gonna be there Monday.
Buffoonery.
As long as that check's there,
You know, Tommy running up is crazy.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, but he got paid from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, stop.
And that's
I
how
hope he
that's
got
how
paid
he's
for the
paid
Masked
now.
Singer too.
He got paid for that.
I don't see why people don't understand. Like, he has a
how
multi-million
many
dollar
years he-
lifestyle,
how
bro.
many-
You
how
have
many
to
years he
bring
played?
in multi-million dollars.
How many years
Yes,
he
he's
played?
gonna
He's
get the pension.
vested. He's gonna
Yes,
get the
but
pension.
what is his future
But his
earning
pension is
potential?
not gonna be $1 million.
And he'll be 53 when he gets that pension. What I'm saying is, when does what's his future earning potential?
So y'all saying he's done? No one's going to sign him?
He said he's done.
He quit.
Rosenhaus
He quit
Rosenhaus said that
He's
there are
not
several teams that are interested, but They all want information on this case or cases, and he's not giving any information on the cases.
Well, Kansas City get it.
The Giants pulled off the win.
Ain't that bad.
So which is even more absurd because it's like, okay, if Tyreek Hill and what's the other boy, Kareem Hunt, they did what they had to do to get back in the league.
They sure did.
What is it about this man's ego? Because even if you're on the side of right, that's even more reason why you should be forthcoming with your information so that you can get back in the league, right?
But no,
again, we're talking about generational wealth. You got to think outside.
Yeah, they got that.
You got to think beyond yourself. You got to think beyond yourself.
You're
We're
really
talking
right.
about
You're really
generational
right.
wealth once again. You're willing to cease earning and acquiring generational wealth simply because you don't want to share information about something that you feel that you're on the right side of.
Or because that information is going to prove that they can't sign you because you're about to go to jail. Or at least be
He's not.
suspended.
There's no criminal charges.
Yeah.
And
You're
then-
right. At least be suspendable.
And then there's no evidence. And then.
And even being suspended, that's only 1 year. That's only 1 year. They can't suspend him for
How'd that
2.
work out for Ray
It
Rice?
was 2 for
How'd that work out?
No, Ray Rice got
Was in
caught
decline.
on a camera
AP
punching
was
his
suspended
wife
for
out.
almost 2 years.
AP, who?
AP.
AP is still playing in the NFL.
I mean, yeah, but 2 years is a
So what I'm saying
He's
is,
playing for check to check, nothing guaranteed, and can't afford his child support or his lawyer fee.
You talking Adrian
As we
Peterson?
play.
yes, but again, that's a whole nother matter. That's
Was
just
he really
David from
suspended 2
Palestine,
years?
Texas.
18 months.
Because he had the beating too, though. He had the whole.
Yeah, remember he had the.
Yeah, with his son.
Yeah.
18 months. He didn't play for 18 months.
They ain't like that.
But wasn't that also coming off of the year he tore his knee?
Yeah, so.
So he missed most of the half of that
Yeah.
year because his knee was torn.
Yeah, he wasn't suspended that long.
Oh no, that was the season after
No, that
his
was
MVP
after,
comeback
yeah,
year.
he had
right?
come back because he had
Comeback
played
player of the
and
year.
then got cut because he was supposed to get paid by the Vikings, and the Vikings didn't want to pay him. And they went and cut him and played with Murray and somebody else.
Well, no, they released him once he was put on the exempt list.
So he's cut.
No, I'm saying, but they didn't cut him until he was
Couldn't play no more.
right,
He was
until he
being
couldn't
kids
play
or
anymore.
disciplining kids. The old.
But all of that's being said, he's still in the league.
Yeah. Trying to pay all his bills.
I'm not working.
Man, that boy got children out the wazoo. Boy,
You got to do it. Wrap it up.
oh man, that's absurd.
Looks like New Orleans is really gonna win this game.
Yeah. Which nobody saw coming.
Nobody.
Why?
Because
Because
they're
y'all think Seattle's really that good?
No,
Yeah.
simply
No.
the fact that
They're
their whole
definitely-
team has been one man for the last
And
10
they're definitely
years.
that
They're definitely
good at
better
home.
than New Orleans without a Drew Brees.
And they're that
Who
good
that?
at
Who
home.
that?
They beat everybody at home, Seattle.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they
Yes,
do.
yes, they do.
They do, boo. They
Like,
beat
they're
everybody
not
at
bad,
home.
man. They got the 19th man.
They're probably the best home. Yeah.
See,
You can't say that. That's
they
a
got
trademark, man. That's a trademark.
What, 12
Hey,
man?
you said
Yeah,
you
no.
gotta cut a check.
Yeah,
Nah, ain't good. Ain't cutting no checks over here.
Because
Because the Bills got a 12 man too. So,
both of y'all paying A&M.
yes, indeed.
Oh,
God.
oh,
Oh my God.
Alright, so now, over those moans and groans, you are listening to the Garage Apartment.
Thank
Did he almost catch that?
We are here each and every
How
Sunday
is
night
he so open behind double cover?
from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time. Be
It's
sure to
only one
follow us on
bad boy.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website, thegarageapt.com.
That's hard.
You can also hit us up live at 713-489-0688. As you can see, we have the Texans on the screen. It's coming down to the wire. The Texans have a 7-point lead with a minute 53 left, while the Los Angeles Chargers are driving. It is 2nd and 10.
And
They have the ball on the, what is that, the 42-yard line?
Yeah,
Yep.
It is now 3rd and 10.
About to be the only game on once this Saints
Have you
game
seen all the
ends.
drop passes today too in other games?
It's like, another game. I said it's like the sun.
I've noticed that a lot of these NFL coaches are too smart for their own damn good.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
They are
NFL
truly
is too
out coaching
smart for
themselves
their
out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, I I would say it's a simple game, but I know that's just going to fire you gentlemen up. But it's a simple game.
Are you gonna go to Baltimore?
You get 4 plays to get 10 yards.
Are you gonna go to
If you
Baltimore?
get 10 yards, you get another
You get
4
another
plays.
4 plays.
If you continue to get those 10 yards, eventually you get a touchdown.
Oh, he better not make this first.
Oh, was that Phillip Rivers right?
Yes.
Yeah, he fell right on his
Very
right shoulder
slowly.
too.
And yet, nobody was there.
No, I mean, because they did not. I mean, who expects the
Again,
to run for the
defensive
money?
line.
So now, while we're watching the Texans, I'm taking full advantage
So-
to talk. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about
The Astros.
the Houston
Hey, AL
Astros.
something.
Tell me some good news.
Clinton.
West.
There you
Let's
go.
say this right.
Astros.
The American League West Division champions,
That's what we talking about.
Houston
That's what
Astros.
we talking about.
And
The 101 consecutive, the 100,
And best record
100
in-
win, 3 consecutive seasons, Houston Astros.
And the best
Which
record
also
in
set the
MLB.
record for the 3 years of 100 consecutive losing games.
Yes, they did.
Which
Several
was,
years ago. Several years ago.
Several years ago.
Several years ago.
So
Several
we
years ago.
we were
So now we have seen both sides of the
the worst ever, and the best ever.
And
In a 10-year span.
And they won what, like 61 games at home?
Yeah.
Have they?
Yeah.
They can possibly have 2 20-game winners. They also have a current pitcher who has 300 strikeouts and Verlander who is
MVP.
nearing it very closely.
And almost like 5 people with 30 home runs.
Believe it or not, as crazy as Millie, is his name Millie? Millie?
Miley. Wade
Miley.
Miley.
As crazy as he's been pitching lately, he almost was a 20
Because
game
he
winner.
started off amazingly.
He is almost a 20 game winner.
Yeah.
So now, the
60
Astros
wins
are
at
also...
home, 42 wins on the road.
60 and 21 at home is about as
It's
amazing
pretty
as
good.
it
You
gets.
just
That's
win.
pretty good.
These Yankees.
Absolutely. I'm going to say the Astros are also in contention for the best record in home field advantage in the playoffs.
Lost another pitcher, by the way.
They have it.
At the moment, the season,
At the
they don't have a
moment.
half game lead.
Over who?
Over the Yankees.
It's 102 to 54 is us. Is the Astros, excuse me, and the Yankees are 102 and 55.
Yes. It's only a half game lead.
One loss difference.
Man, I need to see that. I need to see all Yankees games. Who they playing?
I mean, they're playing the same
Because
good.
how they went in with all these people gone?
They are just doing it. And according to their manager, they are savages.
Oh yeah, get in there. Oh no.
They are savages.
Oh, he's running.
So now,
Hit him!
Why didn't you?
who else? The Atlanta
Sean
Braves.
Taylor would have killed him.
The Atlanta Braves.
Wait,
are
say it
also
again.
in their division.
Say it again.
The NFC, I mean,
Say
the
it again.
NFL, oh God. The National League East champions, America.
Say it again.
Atlanta, good Lord, you have me stuck. The National League East Division champions,
Who called that one?
Atlanta Braves. You called it, sir. You called it. You absolutely called it. They clinched their division earlier this week. Who else clinched division?
The
this
Dodgers.
week? The Dodgers clinched the NL West.
100 wins as well thus
Yeah.
far.
And
56.
And the Braves will beat the Dodgers.
And St. Louis has clinched a playoffs spot.
Yes, because they have swept Chicago.
And Milwaukee is on their toe.
Then the second.
Milwaukee is 86 and 70. St. Louis is first at 89 and 60.
So now, who has the 2 wild cards?
Milwaukee got to win out though.
as of right
St.
now.
Louis and Milwaukee. I believe.
Wild card spots would be Milwaukee. If St. Louis wins, it would be Milwaukee.
Washington too.
And Washington is 85.
What about the
and
American League?
Arizona, yeah, it'll be
American League
Washington.
is like Cleveland and
American League would be Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
No,
Tampa
Oakland.
Bay.
Oakland, bro. Oakland.
Oakland and Tampa. Tampa Bay is Oakland and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay came up and got a playoff spot.
Tampa Bay won 92 games.
that's why.
What did they? I'm like you now. When did they do that?
No,
although I
I
noticed
see
they had
Tampa Bay.
been winning lately.
I seen Tampa Bay, but I think because Tampa Bay had 92, they'd be like, let's put 10 more wins
they've
on
got,
it.
they've got
Because I didn't see New York win 10 more. I did not see New York win 102 games. And I watched quite a few Yankee games because they're always on TV for some reason.
Yes, it
Minnesota has not clinched their spot yet.
No.
So technically, you've got Minnesota or Cleveland would be number 1 in the wild card,
They're
followed by
They're 4.5 games up.
where Oakland will be number 1. Then you got Minnesota. If they don't win, it'll probably be Tampa and Oakland. Is what it's looking like, and we don't really want to see Tampa from everything I'm hearing.
No, it's gonna be one of the two.
Who I want to see Tampa?
They say Tampa's
The
They
Astros,
say,
Yeah,
what they say? Oh, are we? That's a holding call, right?
The Astros are afraid of Tampa.
Well, Tampa has a bullpen that throws over 100. All of them.
Okay.
They don't hit well though.
I was gonna,
So they have to hit the Astros pitching, and then the Astros have to
Springer
hit
Springer tried to hit 30 home runs today.
Yes, he hit 3 today.
He tried to.
I mean, yes.
Altuve has 30.
He does.
Bregman has 30.
He does.
Carlos Correa has been out the whole season, has 22.
Alvarez got 27 on half a season.
We should have the MVP.
Alvarez.
The Astros should have the MVP.
You know Alvarez
Yeah,
got
that's
27
what I
on half
said.
a season.
And the Astros should have the Rookie of the Year.
I mean, the Astros.
Astros
Nobody
should have
wants to
all
see. And then we have
And GM.
Verlander, Cole,
The Astros have Verlander, Cole.
and that's what. Oh, sorry. The Astros have Verlander, Cole, and your boy from the Diamondbacks,
Zach Greinke.
Yes, Greinke.
Uh,
Who is
And
also?
guess who's made a believer of me?
Who is that, sir?
Kyle Tucker. Baby.
Oh, Jesus.
Baby, PJ Tucker. What? Not PJ. I forgot what his brother's name. We cut him though. But the new guy, the youngster they brought
Chris
up.
Tucker.
No, not Chris Cook. He talking about the Tucker we sent
It was an older brother that we used to have that was just mediocre, so that we could draft this Tucker that we got now.
Chris Tucker said you got.
Either way, he's like
Okay.
22. Oh, AB put out that tweet too.
I'm glad he thought it was comical, because now he feeling it today.
Not really.
What you mean not really? This man just lost $50 million.
That 3 days ago.
$50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in denial for 3 days. And when he saw, wait, I don't get a check today?
Yeah, I know.
That's what that was like, wait, I don't get a check today?
Well,
What you mean? Wait, hold on, what you mean?
now he
Oh, I
was
was
trying to start tweeting. What about Ben Roethlisberger? The dude that won't pay me. He was in the South Park. I'm even getting on my phone.
Hey, if Tekashi 6ix9ine can tell it all,
Whoa.
it lives to see the day. Why not everybody?
We'll see.
I was
Although
gonna
you
say,
do bring
yeah,
up a
it's
good
important day, you know what I'm saying?
I
This
mean,
day is just
he's
started.
still testifying.
Because
Exactly, which means that they're just waiting. They're just waiting.
I do have an issue with the way that they have. Well, what is this narrative that the New England Patriots somehow are the moral compass of the NFL?
I don't see who has that.
Yeah.
You know, because they always be like, well, if he couldn't do it with the Patriots,
No,
what
the
does that
thing is
mean?
that
Well, no, what it means
if
is
there's
that
anyone that
Oh,
would
yeah,
take,
no,
Josh, how many picks did you? Oh,
he didn't need to pick that up.
If there's anyone that would take a chance on someone, it's the Patriots. And two, if there's anyone with a locker room that can curtail or control somebody, it would be the Patriots.
Do they control?
Because you come in and you fall in line or you leave.
And
Or you leave.
the prospect of, you know what? If I
So they
stay here
didn't know
in Chicago,
that?
I'll win a Super Bowl.
I'll win a Super Bowl, and then I'll
You
leave
gotta
Chicago
have
after
motivation.
that.
You would think.
At least that's what Wade Smith said.
I mean, come on, man.
That's what Wade Smith
They
said.
said they
it's
didn't know
work for
about
everybody.
that.
All that
Know
work
that.
that he was doing, they know about Hernandez.
He was murking.
I'm with you too. Like they didn't know nothing.
All
Nothing
that
he
work
was
he
He
doing.
didn't kill a single person in Foxborough.
Well, even Urban
Everybody's
Meyer
like,
knew
no,
about
I can't come to
Hernandez.
practice. I hurt my bicep.
Bro, I mean, ain't no way somebody had to know.
They wasn't hearing no rumblings about nothing. So you telling me it's folk around here murdering folk and don't nobody feel nothing a little uncomfortable around
But
here?
honestly, if you knew that the man was a serial murderer, like ideally you think we would have heard something about that just on the black market, if you will. Just
Now, to
on
be
the-
fair, when he
on
was
the
charged with
internet.
murder, they did immediately release him.
Yeah, I mean, they knew he was hanging around with unsavory
Because they tried to move him, they gave him apartments in different places.
Yeah.
And the hood just followed him, bro.
No, he continued to invite the hood over.
Well, I mean,
Hey, they gave me a new. Hey, fool. They gave me another house.
No, I mean, being that he was from Connecticut, being in
Bristol, Connecticut, the home of
Yeah.
ESPN.
But being in Boston was the wrong place for him to be anyway.
It was.
I mean,
It's
he was
gangster.
too close to his people. He's in New England. I mean, he's from New England.
Right.
You know, so that was a bad deal too. But anyway, one thing you mentioned Tekashi, right? Now, just one thing about him when I was sitting there watching him. Okay, when you get tattoos in your face, now you look real stupid sitting there with a suit on.
You look extremely stupid sitting with a suit on.
Then pointing people out. I was like, look how dumb this dude looks. Anyway, that was just an aside.
He's got like
He looks so stupid with that big 6'9" on his forehead.
What about the rainbow hair?
He doesn't have that anymore.
Daniel doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, he's Daniel now.
Oh yeah, no, he's not.
Your hair, you can do what you want with your hair. You can. That's off. That's gonna be fine. But when you get ink on your face and then you're sitting there with a big 6'9", trying to look professional,
In front of a judge.
Ridiculous.
In front of a judge. Judge's like, yeah, okay.
Oh my God, do you look stupid?
Daniel's got 6 players betting over 300.
When they gonna learn, man, that internet gangsterism, bro?
They're never gonna learn because it pays.
Because
Yeah,
look at your consul.
Labels pay.
He
for
was
that.
paid to be the propaganda wing of the nine
Of the-
trade.
Yeah, the 9 trade gangster.
And that's what his
The
job
Bloods.
was. And then I knew they was messing up when the Dumbo, who was the dude? The Shotty was, we the new Death Row Records. Like, didn't you see how that ended?
Exactly.
Why would you want to be that? Why not be the new Def Jam? Did you not see how Death Row Records story ended? Why would you want to be the new Death Row Records?
You know, these kids don't know, man.
Their CEO is in prison still. He's gonna die there.
Still
And going blind.
They had, wait, didn't they have just a good 3-year run?
Who? With that, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You're not gonna show them like
They had a
that.
long run.
You don't show them like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, they had a long, it might have been.
So what? From 93 to what?
To 2003?
Pac died in what? 96.
That was
That's
it.
3 years.
That was
That's
it.
3 years.
But no, it was like
They
92.
Because you gotta give him at least 98.
No, the Chronic came out with 91, 92.
Like Dre, you
Okay,
got
so yeah, 91.
No. They
So
had to
91
run.
to 97? That's a 6-year run. That's a 6-year run. You're right, it's very short.
I mean, is it really?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it is.
You
The way,
heard of Motown, right?
Wait, for the way that we
You
talk
heard of
about
Def
them,
Jam.
You
in
wrote
the-
that-
Atlantic, right? You've heard of
for the way that people talk about them, yes, that's a very short.
Sony.
Rap a lot as well.
Exactly.
Rap-A-Lot still alive.
Still
I
alive.
understand.
Still making records.
I understand. And
For all the rumors,
the only
nobody's
difference
in
is that
prison.
one person went to jail. If he could have beat that and his underlings would have went, then
Who
he would have been
should?
good. Yeah.
No,
It'd still be over.
No, they wouldn't.
Why?
Because everybody left, all of his talent left. Then he
That's
tried to get a
because he
fake
was
Snoop
throwing
Dogg
people off
and a fake
balconies.
Snoop Dogg. Remember that when he had Top Dog and he had the fake. Remember Top Dog? You don't remember Top
I don't
Dog?
remember Top Dog.
Yeah, he came out with a fake Snoop Dogg and a fake Tupac.
It was Tupac.
I forgot the dude. The dude who was the fake Tupac was from Dallas. I think he wound up committing suicide.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa.
but I mean it was just a bad deal because everybody left. Now, if you look at Death Row, Suge Knight should be a billionaire right now because if you had just been, it was just like AB. If you had just done what you were supposed to do and not tried to be this gangster, and then everything it just showed you, Suge grew up as a football player. He became a gangster when he was
Hurt.
a grown man.
Yeah.
When he went back and got all the people that used to slap him upside the head in the neighborhood and say, "Hey, be my bodyguard."
Like Baby and Lil Wayne.
Well,
They became gangsters after they became millionaires. What?
Well, they
Does
became
that?
gang members. I heard Baby actually was in the streets right back in the day. But anyway, that's neither here nor
But
there.
the
The thing is, just think
I
about,
didn't have to be initiated. All I
Right.
had to do was pay.
but just think about, but just think about the money. If they'd have never got, Tupac never got involved in all that foolishness and got killed, Death Row would have been producing movies.
Absolutely.
Tupac is an actor.
Tupac was in
Snoop.
blood for 2 years.
I just saw a movie with Snoop with Matthew McConaughey on what was that, Hulu?
Yeah.
Moondog.
The something bum. What is
Yeah,
it? Beach
yeah,
Bum
yeah,
or
the
something?
beat, yeah. Snoop Dogg. I mean, just look at the star, Dre.
Right.
Beats by Dre could have came out under Death Row.
Absolutely.
They squandered that being gangster and somehow Shotty, and then they just saw the guys from across town, the Crips, from their neighborhood, get busted and all get locked up. GS9. They just saw that happen a few years ago when Bobby Schmurder went up.
Yeah.
Okay, you just saw the Crips get busted. Then you out doing the same stupid. It's the same thing with AB. There's just no foresight. What happened? What is wrong with our people? Just
That's a pretty
Where your daddy at?
Yes,
Oh,
where
that's
is your
easy.
daddy?
Ain't no daddies in the home.
Yeah, because he's dead or in jail.
Exactly. So they out here raising themselves, and they letting these rap records raise them, and these rap records out here lying, and so these boys thinking this is the way to live.
Just like Tupac said.
But I think that's a perfect
It
segue
is perfect. That's why I was getting at.
into our brand new segment.
It's not brand new. It's new last week.
It's brand spanking new. It's just
Man,
new.
boy, you always want to keep taking something from me. It's brand new, man.
Last week, bro.
And then
Yeah, boy, out there with
I
that
guarantee you some folk out there who ain't heard it yet. So now, for those of you who don't know,
you should-
it is time
You should see the
for
comment.
what will be the new sensation rapping around the world. We call it "Take It From Me, I Know Best." What you say? Tell them one more time. Tell them one more time. Yeah.
I need you to do a riff like Luther, though, man.
That
You gotta put your emotion in,
beyond
bro.
sick.
You gotta put your emotion in.
I was like, oh my god.
Hustle. What do hustle?
Take it from me. Yes, indeed. This week on Take It From Me, I Know Best. We're going to get into something that's very similar to what we were just talking about. So now, Maul Mizzle kicked us off last week with our inaugural Take It From Me, I Know Best. When doing so, he mentioned the Revolt Summit. So now I caught up on some of the summit and came across the big discussion on the Black Agenda. Conversation if for some reason we just continue to have and can't seem to come up with one. Anyway, this discussion was between such polarizing figures as Killer Mike, a personal favorite of mine, might I add, T.I., Tamika Mallory, Candace Owens, and others. It's streamed on Revolt TV. I suggest you view it if you haven't already. This discussion was an impassioned. It was impassioned and had tense moments, yet very good points from all the panelists. It actually had me change my original gripe this week, which was outrage with the LA Times article I read claiming that the Popeyes chicken sandwich saved America's economy.
Man.
What?
Exactly. You know what that reminds me of?
Exactly.
Boondocks.
No. Remember on Undercover Brother?
Yeah, bro, Colonel,
God.
listen, listen. I was gonna go into a soliloquy about how the
It's
black
the bomb,
community
baby.
misappropriates its influence on the world's economy, but I'll say that for another week. So the Revolt panel discussion showed both what is great about Black America and its troubles. You were able to hear the perspectives of reformed drug dealers turned entertainers to / entrepreneurs / activists. You heard from young techies who had the thumb on what young Black Americans are concerned with. You heard from the street activists who are in the streets daily and speaking with those who feel continuously ignored. You even heard the perspectives of blacks posing as black conservatives. And when I say posing, because they must have went and got the most ill-informed black conservatives you could probably find. Because I know a few black conservatives.
Yeah,
and
but
they,
the two superstars, Candace Owens and Katrina.
exactly. They got the two superstars
I'm a
who
big fan of
have.
Katrina Pearson, not her views.
Trust me, the view of her views. I understand. I understand. Absolutely, completely understand. So now, I'm currently reading. I know I'm late. I'm extra late. I'm currently reading W.E. Du Bois' The Soul of Black Folks.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I love that
You're
one.
like centuries late.
Hey, don't judge me, brother. Don't judge me.
That's why they make them. Never see them.
And it is irritating how relevant much of what Du Bois describes still occurs. Du Bois explains how the American Negro lacks identity and the direction after its emancipation, right? The confliction it feels by providing for its family, yet continuing to align the pockets of its oppressor and nation. This can be no truer than today when you can't seem to get blacks to agree on this nationality, let alone an agenda, right? So, I recall when I was a student at TSU, I was given the opportunity to work the Tavis Smiley State of the Black Union. there I had an opportunity to sit down and listen to former Republican National Convention Chair Michael Steele, Harry Belafonte, Louis Farrakhan, and Chuck D discuss the Black agenda, right? So now this discussion was not new at all, nor is it simple.
Dick Gregory wasn't there?
Dick Gregory was there, but he wasn't there that day. I worked the entire thing, he wasn't there that day. So now, it can be made simple when two effective concepts are implemented. If two effective concepts are implemented, simply process and organization. So now I'm like, okay, somebody might say, well, that's easily stated, but it really is. If black folk would simply implement process and organization, unification would be able to, it would be something that we can obtain, right? So unification does not mean monolithic. Black people are not monolithic. Nor do we have to be, nor should we be, nor could we be when considering the widespread, systemic oppression applied to us in the different regions of the world and the impact. But one thing we can do is we can get behind closed doors and we can take a little bit out of what they said, a little bit out of what they take, the good out of what she said, the good out of what he said, and we can come up with 10, 20, maybe even 100 points to form an agenda. And who says that we have to have one agenda? When we're thinking about what the black community faces, the many issues and trials that it faces, one agenda may not be enough. But one thing we certainly cannot keep doing is no one willing to get in line and work together and do something at all, and we end up sitting stagnant, or we're continually looking for leadership rather than taking back ownership of what we're doing. Now, one of the driving points that kept being made was talking about breaking from the further perpetuation of being sold out by the Democratic Party, which I agree with 100%. I mean, I am registered as a Democrat, but to me, Democrats are weak, they're cowardice, and oftentimes they don't get anything accomplished simply because they just don't have the fortitude to get out there and make things happen. Versus Republicans who do a lot of things due to self-interest, and as a result, are able to get things accomplished. Anywho, I digress.
That is a horrible. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Say what you want, they get things done.
Yeah.
They pockets always end up fat when they leave the office.
Shit down the world. Let's go.
So take it from me. I know best. If black people can simply implement process and organization, along with organizing, along with meeting, there'd be a process as to what would happen if this were to happen. Even if the head were to fall, there's somebody who would then fall in line. That way, if no other thing, we can still have our many different perspectives. We can still have our many different perspectives, but we're all going for one common goal. I think that we would be able to get from behind the 8 ball. So that's just my take.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. Well, not 100%, but I'm with you. Now, as far as us getting an agenda and all that stuff together, and I think one of Killer Mike's great points on that, and the thing that kills me about the black conservatives, as they call themselves, I really don't have a problem with people having different political ideologies and people wanting to be fiscally conservative or whatnot.
It's the duality.
Yeah, but the thing that kills me about these new modern black conservatives that takes them away from people, black conservatives I respected like J.C. Watts,
Absolutely,
and even Condoleezza Rice back in the day.
Okay.
They refuse to call out the systemic problems and the main problem of racism, white supremacy. They completely skirt that issue.
Absolutely.
That's why black people, do not fall in line with it.
Right. Or pay attention to the points, the valid points that they actually do make.
Because once you say racism doesn't exist, once you say there's no problem with police brutality, I close my ears. I'm sorry, I can't hear that. You can still be fiscally conservative and still understand that there's a major plight of black people, and it's systemic and it's historic, and also even the stuff that's historic needs to be corrected, because people are already, fighting from behind. And then there's no way to catch those people up unless you try to catch those people up.
Right.
And those people skirt that issue. Then on the other hand, see, that's the problem with having these two. You're either liberal or conservative, you're either Democrat or Republican. There's a lot of stuff Democrats that don't have nothing to do with us.
Right.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
But we gotta fall in line with it because that's the party.
And it's only two.
Yes. That's the deal. So I agree with Killer Mike and I agree with your assessment. We need to be on both of their behind. And say, can you do this, and that for us? If not, we'll move on to the next one.
So what about creating our own party?
We had our own party.
Well, that's...
What party was that?
The Black Panther Party. Take it from history. That's what.
Well, we saw how they neutralized that,
and they would do the same thing.
Unfortunately,
that's what's so unfortunate. They will do the same thing.
But does that mean we should not be courageous enough to still do it?
No, it's the winner-take-all system in the United States that kills it. You cannot have multiple parties. Now, if we had a parliamentary style of government where you had a proportional.
Specifically not going to go to.
Exactly, they're never going to go to. I mean, winner takes all. If you get 50.1% of the vote, you get everything.
Right.
Which is the problem. That's the major problem.
That's not representing. That's not
representing the people.
Right.
Half of the people. I mean, even in any given state, even in your district, like if you're voting for a city councilman. And one city councilman gets 50, and it doesn't even have to be that because they go to runoff. So you have,
like you said, you can see that in the last presidential election where the rural areas actually selected the president, but the heavily populated areas in America did not, and yet they still have to deal with the president that they did not choose.
But even before with Obama, I mean, and every Democratic president, the big cities chose those presidents, and the rural people felt. 50%,
I don't have a problem with the rural people. Like, the rural and the urban. That's how America was built in states. I have no problem with that. My issue was, or with the one point that you were saying would be, who is the we? Okay, because when you say we or black people, African Americans need to organize and need to come together and have a process. Who would be? How would that occur? How would that get together? How would we involve the multitudes? Everybody obviously does not have the same. How shall I say? Outlook upon life.
Right.
Are you talking about? Let's just say the talented 10. Just to say we're going to try to bring up the highest ones.
We don't need necessarily.
Are you saying
the same
individual people need to, as an individual, you need to do this in your household, everyone, and thus that would bring
absolutely. We don't necessarily need the same approach. We just need to understand that we have the same goal. Thus, we can do it differently. I can take the strengths out of what you want to do. You take the strengths out of what I do. We put it together. We make a process. We organize it. We stand on it, and thus we now have an agenda. And now we force these people to do what we need them to do, so that we can climb out of the bottom.
But our problem is,
you saying Antonio Brown has the same agenda?
The problem is
no.
Also, the problem is also we want to be like them. We always want to be included into their stuff. Our stuff's never cool. It's cool for everybody else.
That's just because it's
not cool to us.
If our stuff is deemed as successful, then people don't mind. People just want to be successful. People just want to have it all, which is the ultimate.
No, well, if that's what you call successful, that's not.
I'm saying that's when I say I specifically just said have it all by not making anything specific. Like that could be. Family wise, it could be money wise, it could be political, whatever. That boy.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up, B. Finish your point.
But I also say the revolution won't be televised, and guess what?
It will not.
Everybody is on this Black Mirror. Shout out to Black Mirror. Everybody's on this Black Mirror, though. No matter what it is.
It will not be televised. And if you still televised looking for a show, waiting for somebody to tell you to do it, it ain't gonna happen.
But it's coming.
That's what you were correct. It needs to be behind closed doors. So, but we got too many ABs out there filming us.
Oh man, we'll have to
had
with
too
there.
many Katrina Pearsons and Candace Owens.
Oh my God.
Too
Even though
many
they look
6'9"
something
that don't even belong, who literally come in, profit off of you, and then send your ass to jail.
I'll tell you this: the Republicans know how to pick their female.
Boy, I'm telling you,
their
boy.
female.
They know what to do. Let's get a darky and a light skin. Let's make one look good and one real loud, and we're gonna make it
But
happen.
even their white girls and their Asians, look how they look.
We've
The
been
Republicans are like Telemundo. They know how to pick their.
What? Yes, indeed. We'll have to leave it there.
It's all entertainment. They gotta look good. You gotta look good.
You gonna listen to the Garage Department.
If you're ugly, nobody gonna watch.
We are here each and every Sunday night from 6 to 7. Central Standard Time. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our website, thegarageapt.com. And as always, man, thank you for listening. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And we appreciate that. So, man, y'all be good. If you can't be good, then be good at it. But whatever you do, stay blessed. We out of here.